Hi, I'm Adrin Himelheber and we're in Las Vegas, Nevada at beautiful Red Rock Country Club. Today I have a great tip for you on how to get a little more feel and a little better spin on your forehand. So this is a drill that I've seen a lot of pro tennis players work with. I've actually learned it from watching them, and then I've implemented this with juniors and club players, and it's really been a game changer for how much more control and spin they have on their forehand. So when you're hitting topspin, okay, you have your primary shot, but then you have these secondary shots where you have like loops and angles and pulling things off the court, or working or developing the hands more, not really using as much of the kinetic chain, but working your hands a little better and developing more feel and skill with your hands. So this drill is going to help you out. Let me explain kind of what we're going to do. What I want to do, usually on a forehand, we're driving through the ball and then we're closing the racket face depending on how much spin we want to get. On this drill, on this secondary shot, we actually want to kind of go around the ball. You hear this a lot, brushing or rolling around the ball, windshield wiper. Okay, we're really just trying to absorb pace from the ball and feel the ball more instead of hitting through the ball more. So what I do is I make sure that the technique is sound. So what we want to do is on a normal ground stroke, we extend the arm. On this secondary forehand or this secondary shot, okay, we're trapping the elbow more and we're feeling the hands. So it's almost kind of like a doorknob turn. You hear that from a lot of great coaches, or a windshield wiper. I'm not crazy always about the windshield wiper term because it's loosely used a lot. But for this secondary shot, it does apply. Now what I want to do, I can feed to myself, and then you'll see actually some video of me doing the drill. But what we want to do is just bounce the ball, and we want to make sure that we're rolling over or brushing over the ball. Now notice that the swing path is a little different. I'm really not driving through or going through the ball. And I don't want to get depth, so I don't want to get depth on this shot. I really want to get angle or feel. And what I'm trying to do is just make sure that I keep the racket face slightly closed and I'm working in this motion. Notice that my racket face is down and then it almost faces down when I finish, okay? I've seen a lot of great players do this shot. One that kind of sticks out in my mind is Gael Monfils playing Dimitrov, and I believe the Monte Carlo Masters a couple years ago. But he was driving, hitting drives, hitting loops. He was pushing Dimitrov back on the baseline, and then finally he finished a shot with an inside-out angle for a winner. Dimitrov was so far back off the court that he actually hit a winner, taking about half the pace off the ball. Now, you can work the inside outs, okay, but you can also do this. You can work the cross courts. So I'm just making sure that I bounce the ball, and then I'm coming over the ball, and I'm just working feel. Now, at the higher level, you can kind of hit these lower and then start working that feel. At the lower level, I would really encourage that you have a coach out there with you. If you don't have a coach, here are some great parameters. You want to make sure that you drop the ball, okay, at like a beginner intermediate level. You want to make sure that you drop the ball at shoulder height so you have a little time, okay? At a higher level, you can drop the ball lower to give yourself less time, and then you can go for greater angle. So I can go for greater angle here, if that makes sense. Now, you can work the inside out, and you can work the cross court. Just make sure that you're not driving through the ball so much, or you're not trying to finish over your shoulder on this shot. You almost trap the elbow and you finish down by the hip, okay? There's not a lot of kinetic chain movement. You do want balance here with the hands, but you're not really trying to drive through and get the elbow up. You're working on feel and angle. This shot will help you out a lot if you're working on passing shots on the forehand. You've got that serve and volley that comes in, or the guy that chips and charges, or the player that's always coming to the net on you, and you just can't pass them. You're just too linear, and you're not getting enough shape on the ball. And this will also help your ground strokes. You'll become better at putting more shape on your ground strokes, which will help you a lot down the road. Remember, we have our primary shots, which are pretty much our drives, our regular ground strokes. Then we have our secondary shots, our angles, our loops, our topspin lobs, okay? All of these are pretty much the total package as a tennis player, and you're going to find that at different levels, you're going to play certain players that can only hit a certain way, or they only have one type of forehand. And I really recommend to always try to add that more spin, more control on that shot. So to recap, okay, the swing path is not as linear. You're getting more shape on it, okay? So I'm more here, and I'm coming around the ball. I'm absorbing pace. This is not a power shot. You really want to try to develop feel in the hands. You really want to feel the ball in your hands and your wrist, okay? I get asked this a lot too, just to recap. Well, I have a really extreme Western grip. When you have a really extreme Western grip, unless you have a ton of wrist strength, it's going to be really hard to hit this shot. Now, I would recommend a semi-Western or an Eastern to semi-Western. You can Google that. You can go on YouTube. There's a ton of tutorials out there, not just by Tennis Evolution, but by a lot of good coaches. Really simple stuff. You can just find that on your own. But my parameters would be, especially with my players, somewhere between Eastern, semi-Western forehand, right on the cusp, and semi-Western forehand. If you enjoyed today's free lesson, please make sure that your notifications are turned on. I have a free gift for you that I want to share with you. I've worked with some of the best players and coaches in Spain, and they have a system that works. They've developed players from all skill levels. I want to share that free gift with you, so please click on the link below or somewhere on this page. Make sure your notifications are turned on, and I look forward to seeing you on the court very soon.